Hello and welcome to EUTV Sports Update. We'll be looking at the latest sports news from Binkley University and around the region. I'm Jared Jackson.
We'll also be looking at college football across the nation. It was a big week, so check out the latest happenings in professional sports. I'm Grant Binkley, and this is EU Sports Update on EUTV.
Evangel really did play a good game this weekend that I'm really excited to get into. I think it's going to be a lot of fun for them the rest of the season.
Yeah, Coach Hepola's always got the team good and ready to go, and they're always ready to play, and it's going to be a good season.
Yeah. Also, the volleyball team played very well this weekend. It'll be interesting to see how their season goes, especially after last year when they probably should have made the NAIA tournament.
Yeah, you know that they got that chip on their shoulder, and they're ready to prove themselves this year, so it'll be an exciting year for both football and volleyball.
Mm-hmm. After opening up their season on the road, the Evangel Valor football team hosted the Sterling College Warriors on Saturday. Evangel opened up the game with a 6-play drive that led to a Reed Potts 3-yard rushing touchdown. Sterling responded with a 79-yard reception that led to a touchdown, evening the score at 7 at the end of the first quarter. The Valor would then score 2 more touchdowns and a field goal from Cody Voisey to go up 30-14 at halftime. The Valor defense shined in the game, forcing 3 fumbles and shutting out Sterling in the second half. The Valor broke the school record for rushing yards in a single game with 412 rushing yards. Eric Williams led the ground attack with 168 yards and 4 total touchdowns, while Kyle Cummings also rushed for 125 yards and a touchdown. The Valor took care of business against the Warriors, 51-14.
This past weekend, it was volleyball. The volleyball team hosted the annual Evangel Quad, where a total of 6 games were played between 4 teams in attendance. Evangel took home victories against Bethany College and Texas A&M Texarkana on Friday, and another victory in straight sets against Mission University on Saturday. In their match against Texarkana, Bella Wakely and Viviana Sanchez put on a clinic at the net, racking up combined 31 kills and 9 blocks. Neither Bethany nor Mission proved to be a challenge for the Valor, with both of them being swept in 3 straight sets. Evangel dominated the net against Bethany with a .261 hitting percentage and 3 blocks, as much as was the same in the match against Mission, where the Valor recorded 10 more blocks. The Valor were able to improve their record to 10-2 on the year.
You know, not a lot of Evangel sports going on this weekend, but we did get a few W's for both volleyball and football.
Yeah, it's good to get the wins early on, but you don't want to lose your killer instinct this early in the season. You want to keep going, put the coal in the fire and keep it going and have it not only start strong but finish strong and do the work.
Yeah, and football ended up with a dominant victory there at the end, but the first quarter kind of had me nervous there. What did you think?
Well, that's why we have 4 quarters and not just one. You know, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. You know, you just got to keep persevering, pushing through, and just take it one play at a time. As the late Hank Stram used to say, just keep matriculating the ball down the field.
Yep, and volleyball, you know, picking up those 3 wins there at the weekend on back-to-back days is a pretty daunting task, but they were able to accomplish it.
Yeah, my hat's off to the strength and conditioning coach. So you need a lot of strength and conditioning to play that many games in that short period of time. And for them to be as dominant as they were in that short period of time, it was a great mindset, great victory, and it'll help them build on for the rest of the year.
Yep, for sure. Coming up, we'll be here talking with Coach Hepola, the athletic director and head football coach for Evangel University.
And we'll also be looking at the latest Missouri State games and other NFL and college action around the nation.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantori here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family, and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
What a disaster.
You're a disaster.
This is a disaster.
You can't be ready for every little disaster, but you can prepare for a big one. Make an emergency plan today.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Welcome back. I'm here with Evangel University Athletic Director and Head Football Coach Chuck Hepola. Thank you, Coach Hepola, for being here today.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's always a pleasure.
Yep. So tell me, what kind of goals does your team have for this year?
We have 4 pillars. We're going to push our young men to grow spiritually, academically, socially, and athletically. And I know probably when some people ask that question, they just think we're just strictly talking about football, but we want to try to make them the best person they can be, and we feel like if we make them the best person they can be, or push them to be the best person they can be, then they'll excel on the field. And so, at the end of the day, we want to win all of our games, obviously, but it's just about the growth of these young men, while they're in our organization and our program, and so that's something that's important to me.
Yeah. What are those 4 pillars?
Yeah, again, those are, it starts with their spiritual life. I mean, obviously we want, the growth in their spiritual life and for them to, have that relationship with Jesus Christ and also know that that's the most important thing that should be in their lives. And then academically, we want them to be able to earn that degree. And then socially, we want them to be able to know really how to conduct yourself on the field, off the field. And then, of course, athletically, we want them to be fundamentally sound and know their technique and utilize the sport of football to teach biblical principles. And so that's really an important part of our pillars.
Mm-hmm. What are some things that your team does well this year on the field?
We played 2 games, and the main thing is we're just wanting to be the best fundamentally sound program. We have what we call Code Maroon. Code Maroon means play fast. So you play fast by knowing your job. The second one is play hard. And so from the moment that ball snapped until the whistle blows, you need to do your job at 100%. And then the next one would be play together. And so, it's about unity and playing for, your brother to the left and the right and front and behind you. And then the last one is finish, and just finish the things that you start. And those are all really good principles to use academically, socially, spiritually, and on the football field. And so I feel like our team does a good job of that. And but we'll continue to grow because you're always searching for something and pushing for something that unfortunately you'll probably never, ever really reach, which is perfection. Mm-hmm. So we say perfection is our goal, but excellence will be tolerated. And so that's what we're striving for.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. To piggyback off that, what are some things that your team is looking to improve on this year?
Yeah, and again, those same things that we talked about that we're doing well, we still want to continue to improve on that. The main thing we want is we want our guys to be fundamentally sound, because if you don't have good fundamentals and you don't have good technique, you can't really perform the game plan very well. And then above all, we always want unity, and our guys have done a good job of that. But we're always, unity is something that you're always striving to improve on, because, sometimes, unfortunately, in this world, people want to just think about themselves, and really the kingdom isn't about thinking about yourself, it's thinking about others. And so that's really what we're striving to be able to get better at.
Mm-hmm. Has there been anything specific that has helped them be more unified?
Oh yeah. I mean, we do during fall camp, we do a thing called coding maroon. So, code maroon, play fast, play hard, play together, finish. So we'll learn something fast, learn something not so hard, learn something together, and finish the night. And that's what we did during fall camp. And so we do a lot of things, with our team, from the fight song to skits to just getting our guys to build relationships. Because, if you have good relationships and you know somebody and you know them well and you know their heart, you literally want to run through the wall for them. And so that's something that we're always striving to work for.
Big game this weekend. You got Southwestern. You're going to their place.
Yep.
What are some things you're going to be looking for in your team for them to succeed?
Yeah, good football team. This will be the third year in a row we played them, and we beat them 2 years ago. They beat us last year in a very close game, and a ranked team. So they're just a good football team, and so we've got to make sure that we worry about Evangel more than worry about Southwestern, and because really a lot of games are not. You really lose them more than you get beat. And so the bottom line is that we've got to make the least amount of mistakes. So most teams that win make the least amount of mistakes. So we've got to focus on Evangel. And so we use the phrase, Evangel doesn't beat Evangel. And so we don't want to make mistakes and limit those. And so how do you do that? You limit them during practice, because practice is about building habits. Mm-hmm. And so if you can build great habits on the practice field, then that habit is going to carry on a Saturday. So that's what we're looking and striving to do.
Mm-hmm. So speaking about last year's game with Southwestern, that was part of very disappointing end of the season for you guys.
Yep.
Has that motivated the team this year?
Yes and no. I mean, it's the no part of is really whatever we're doing next is the most important thing. And so we talk about the next game we play being the most important game, and it's because that's who we play. Well, fortunately, this is Southwestern. Coming off, in fact, before I came in this morning, we were watching a little film from last year as well, and you saw moments in that game where the result could have been different. Football's a very unique sport. If you actually take, really on average, if you take 5 plays of each game and the result of that play is different, the opposite team wins. Mm-hmm. And so there was a lot of things in that game that we look back and go, man, if we would have just done this and a little bit differently, then the outcome would have been different. But the previous year, they felt the same way. So now it's just a matter of who's going to make the least amount of mistakes and win the ball game.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Thank you for being with us today, Coach Hepola. Best of luck with your fall semester. Coming up, we'll look at some of the college football and NFL games from the weekend. Stay tuned.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
My biggest fear in the middle of my addiction was that I would never be able to get over it and that my kids wouldn't have a father. I started thinking, you know what? This isn't my story. For the longest time, fear held me back from ultimately being who I wanted to. I had to become a better man to be a better father. It's important to me that my kids are empowered and truly believe that if they can think it, they can do it.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. Let 211 be your guiding light for mental health and other resources. Call 211 or visit 211.org.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
Welcome back. After a rough week one in Southern California, the Missouri State Bears took to the road again, this time heading to Huntington, West Virginia to take on the Marshall Thundering Herd. Missouri State quarterback Jacob Clark threw for 339 yards and 3 TDs on Saturday, leading the Bears to their first ever win as an FBS program. The Bears won 21-20.
After 14 years, the border showdown between the Missouri Tigers and the Kansas Jayhawks was renewed on Saturday in Columbia. These two rivals had not faced one another since 2011 when Mizzou left the Big 12 Conference to join the Southeastern Conference. The Jayhawks threw the first punch, leaping out to an early 21-6 lead after the first quarter. The Tigers responded by possessing the ball for all but 52 seconds in the second quarter, evening the score at 21 by the half. The Tigers would not stop there, converting on 2 fourth downs late in the game that would help seal the victory for the Tigers. Mizzou quarterback Bo Pribula led the Tigers in the stat column, throwing for 334 yards and 3 touchdowns as Mizzou rallied to a 42-31 victory. The Kansas City Chiefs kicked off their season in Sao Paulo, Brazil, as they took on Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers. Herbert took over the game with 318 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, and even 32 rushing yards. Patrick Mahomes was 24 for 39 passing with 258 yards and 1 touchdown. It was a rough game for the Chiefs, losing both the game and young receiver Xavier Worthy to injury on just the third play of the game. Chiefs lose to the Chargers in Brazil by a score of 27-21.
Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers opened up their season in East Rutherford, New Jersey, against Rodgers' former team, the New York Jets. This is coming off an offseason where these teams swapped quarterbacks, with Rodgers going to Pittsburgh and Justin Fields moved to New York. Both Fields and Rodgers put on a great showing for their new squads, with Rodgers returning to some semblance of his old self. Rodgers threw for 244 yards and 4 touchdowns, while his counterpart Fields finished with a respectable 218 yards in the air, 48 yards on the ground, and 3 total touchdowns. After 7 lead changes, Steelers kicker Chris Boswell nailed a go-ahead 60-yard field goal for the win. Steelers win in Rodgers' old stadium 34-32. And what could be a preview of possible AFC playoff matchup later this year, this Sunday night game featured 2 AFC powerhouses in the Buffalo Bills and Baltimore Ravens. Both teams looked sharp on the opening week, with Buffalo coming from behind to score 22 unanswered points in the fourth quarter to win 41-40. Josh Allen outdueling Lamar Jackson. Allen was 33 for 46 with 394 yards passing, whereas Lamar went 14 for 19 with 290 passing yards. The game-winning play was a 32-yard field goal from Matt Prater. Derrick Henry led the Baltimore rushing attack with 18 carries for 169 yards. Well, Jared, it was certainly an interesting start to the NFL season and college football season. What do you look for in the next coming weeks and the rest of the season looking ahead?
It'll be interesting to see how the Chiefs respond to this loss. I think they will come back out. They'll have a great game plan to make up for the loss of Xavier Worthy, too.
Yeah, the one thing about Andy Reid is he's always prepared. And, everyone's always saying, oh, my gosh, this is crumbling a kingdom. Look, when you're out on the field, tensions get high. And when you're losing, tensions get even higher. They've always found a way to come back. And as we said earlier, they started the season 0-1 a couple of years ago and ended up winning the Super Bowl. So there's still a lot of football left to be played. Yeah, and Josh Allen looks to be defending his MVP title from last year very seriously again with his 4 touchdowns. Yeah, I think Mahomes is definitely starting to get more and more competition for the Player of the Year, and so forth. So it will be definitely interesting to see how all these teams go down the line and where they end up in the playoff rankings.
Yep. And the Kansas-Mizzou game, it's a classic rivalry. Any thoughts?
It's a rivalry that dates back even during the Civil War. So, I mean, this rivalry dates back over 200 years, and there's been a lot of great memories over the years, fighting for the Big 12 championship and a couple of bowl games. It didn't disappoint, and fortunately, Mizzou came out on the winning end.
Yep. And pretty special to see MSU get that first FBSW.
You never forget your first, no matter what it is, your first car, your first job, and this is the first win for Missouri State in a bigger conference and a bigger part of the NCAA, and I look for good things to happen. I think they're well coached, and I think they're going to surprise a lot of people. I was talking to Art Haynes, and he thinks they have a good shot at the conference.
Mm-hmm. When we come back, we'll be taking a look at the EUTV Player of the Week.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. Let 211 be your guiding light for help with food, healthcare, and other resources.
211, how can I help you?
Call 211 or visit 211.org. 211, get connected, get help.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantore here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family, and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right seat.
What a disaster.
You're a disaster.
This is a disaster.
You can't be ready for every little disaster, but you can prepare for a big one. Make an emergency plan today.
It's time now for the EUTV Sports Player of the Week.
Thanks, Jared. This week's EUTV Sports Player of the Week is Viviana Sanchez from the volleyball team. In the team's first 4 matches this last week, Sanchez totaled 43 kills and an astounding 25 blots in their 5-set match with Texas A&M Texarkana. Sanchez also put up 15 kills and 6 blots to help secure the victory for the Valor. Sanchez's recent performances have propelled her to 5th in the country in blots per set, as well as helping the team to 6th in the country in total blots. Congratulations to Viviana Sanchez.
You know, Sanchez has been a dominant force at the net for several years now for the Evangel. Something like that always helps bring the team up.
Yeah, it always helps to have that veteran leadership, no matter what sport you're playing. While I'm not that in tune to volleyball, I do follow it, but it's like any other sport. Teamwork is important, and you got to have that veteran leadership.
Yep, and whenever you just have somebody that you can count on to, rack up 5-6 blocks a game, that's pretty special, right?
Oh
there.
yeah, absolutely. It definitely helps.
And now let's go to the upcoming games of the week. On Wednesday, September 10th, the women's soccer team will play John Brown University in Siloam Springs, Arkansas at 6 p.m. The next Wednesday, on September 17th, the women will play versus Oklahoma Wesleyan at 5 p.m. with the men to follow at 7:30 in Bartlesville.
In football, on the 13th of September at 11 a.m. at Southwestern College at Kansas in Winfield, the EU Valor will take on Southwestern College at 11 a.m.
Next up, we got men's and women's cross country this weekend, running in the Queen City Invitational at 8 a.m. in Springfield, Missouri. They're going to be running out at Betty and Bobby Allison Sportstown on Airport Boulevard.
And golf is also on the agenda this coming weekend. September 15th and 16th, the Evangel Fall Kickoff in Springfield, Missouri at the Bill and Payne Stewart Golf Course on East Norton Road.
We also have men's and women's tennis coming up from the 18th of September through the 20th. It's the KCAC Individual Fall Championships in Lindsborg, Kansas. Go Evangel Valor!
Go Valor!
You know, Grant, we got some pretty important events coming up for the team. That KCAC Fall Individual Championships, I'm really got my eye on for the tennis team.
Yeah, you're coming toward a critical part in the season, and right now everyone is critical, every game is critical, and you really need to be on your game. And I'm sure that the Evangel tennis team will serve up some good victories this weekend.
You know, and I think that Evangel versus Southwestern football game will really be a treat for any football fan out there.
Oh yeah, it's always good. Coach Hepola's always got his team ready, and any given Sunday, any given Saturday, anything can happen. That's what makes football exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's all the time we have today for Sports Update. We invite you to check out EUValorMedia.com for all the latest Evangel news and media. I'm Grant Binkley.
And I'm Jared Jackson. Please be sure to join us next week as we bring you the latest sports news. For more information on Evangel Sports, go to evangelathletics.com. This has been Sports Update on EUTV.